And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. It's Frankly Football in the building. I am your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, Hunter Grand. Set it off, Chris, with me. Chris, it's sometimes you can just breathe, where you can
Right.
relieve a little stress, right?
Little woosah. You got
Yeah,
a little
right.
woosah. Little
Little
woosah,
woosah. You
It's
you
Tuesday.
step away from the fire a little bit, and that I think is how some people, the majority of people, can and should feel after the Cowboys put a check mark in the W column against the Super Bowl participants at that. A game that a lot of pundits, a lot of other content creators, not me,
Okay.
said,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
said
Okay.
that we would lose.
Okay. You you
So
you you did do that. You did do that. But go ahead, my brother.
absolutely. So the Cowboys, went ahead and conquered the Bengals. They had the tiger by his toe,
Mm.
wouldn't let him go.
Wouldn't let him go.
Absolutely. In a 20-17 victory on Sunday afternoon. I think it was a great game for a little bit over half of it.
Okay. A great game. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
great game. Matter of fact, on one side of the ball, I think it was a great game for all of it. Amazing game on all of it.
Okay. I get that. I
So
get that.
we gonna go back to our format that we've been doing um in last season. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly.
No
Um,
doubt.
we I couldn't come up with a 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 because it
Got you.
it wasn't a lot of bad in this game for what it's worth.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but let's start off with the good, Chris. Let's start off
All
with the
right.
good. I think that Cooper Rush definitely deserves the good. I hope that he got the game ball. Even though Michael Parsons probably deserved the game ball the most, I think that Cooper Rush, I hope that he got the game ball because Cooper Rush came in and he did his job. He kept the ship afloat, righted the ship during the waves and the storm, while Dak Prescott is out. We said that the team might notch out one, maybe two wins while Dak was out. They got one of
Mm-hmm.
them already, and I
Okay.
think that Cooper did a lot of work in making sure that happened. How do you feel about his performance?
Well, I mean, first off and foremost, I'm ecstatic about the win. Last time we talked, we were already talking about writing brick on my brick. We was already giving love, rest and power to Virgil. We was trying to get it on. And so they came out and they rallied behind Cooper Rush and did exactly what he needed to do to get this thing going the right direction. He was poised. He didn't turn the ball over. He stepped up and made some throws when he needed to. So Cooper played an amazing game. Like we said, the early prognosis, we were like 6-8, and then once you let Dr. Jerry Jones get on it, he may be able to play next week. Let Jerry keep talking about it. But I love the fact that Mike McCarthy always kind of keeps the ship kind of steady with saying, hey, listen, the dude's got stitches in his hands. Let's get past getting the stitches out of his hands before we end up playing. But we wanted him to go 50-50. And after we saw how he played, our prognosis of what he could do went up from 50-50 to we may be able to squeak out this, the Giants game and this Commanders game, and we may not have to rush him back. Looking like, okay, if we can get the Commanders game, the things of that nature. So Cooper played above what we expected. So
Absolutely.
he was outstanding. I think the team did everything in almost every aspect of the team. There was a tick up. The wide receivers looked better. The running game looked better. The offensive line looked more cohesive. The defense raised its level up. So, but Cooper Rush was the steadier of the whole thing, and I think he played really well. So he wasn't out. He was definitely a good for us on Sunday afternoon. What's your second good, man?
The second good aspect of this team, this victory, The often forgotten Noah Brown, a bottom of the
Mm.
roster guy.
Oh.
Um, as
Mm.
was stated by a multitude of people, at the end of the game, the end of the loss against Tampa Bay, someone has to step up when CD Lamb is not able to get himself open, or when CD Lamb is bracketed in coverage. And Noah Brown took that personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was targeted
Okay.
5 times
Okay.
and he caught the ball 5 times,
Mm-hmm.
for 91 yards and a touchdown. This was his
Absolutely.
first NFL touchdown. Noah Brown has been in the game for what,
Yeah.
7 years?
In his
Go right ahead, Chris.
7 years, I think of his 5 catches. Yeah, of his 5 catches, one was no bigger than the one he caught late in the fourth quarter that was batted in the air, and he, followed on the redirection and caught it, and helped us keep that drive alive so we could get in position for my main man Brett Maha to go ahead and kick the game-winning field goal. But Noah Brown stepped up for the challenge, took it, like you said, took it personally as a number two, and made it to the point that you had to kind of play as kind of even for the most part, and took a little bit of load off of CeeDee Lamb, who was in this game targeted 11 times, caught 7 balls, for a very modest, maybe 58 yards, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit more,
75.
but 75. Thank you. I'm sorry, but he had a modest day, but it kept everybody honest. And going back, it's going to be something that we're going to say was kind of bad or kind of ugly, but it kept us going for that drive to get us in position for those first 2 scores and helped us go forward. It's always good when you have good food over there, and Eli Apple is a daggone buffet. So, it's always good when you got a buffet over there guarding your second receiver and he can go to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So our last good, not just one person, it's an entire unit, an entire side of the ball. This
Okay.
defense, man, for 2 games now has been phenomenal. Many would say that the Bengals have what can be called the best trio of wide receivers in football now.
Okay.
And all three of them are healthy. All three of them played. Um, and not many of them, produced outstandingly. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, Jamar Chase,
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh
got,
yeah.
got,
Oh yeah.
got the clamps
Yeah.
on him.
Absolutely. Diggs Island. Diggs
Yeah,
Island has a new member.
absolutely.
Absolutely. He has a new member. But I cannot echo it more. Even though my dog is barking in the background, he's echoing on it too. But yeah, the defense as a whole, from front to back, spearheaded by the leader of this defense, which is Michael Parsons.
Yes.
Michael Parsons had an amazing game, 6 sacks from this defense. You had your offensive line, your defensive line playing out of its mind. Dorrance Armstrong, who you didn't think should even be on the team
Whoa, I
anymore.
didn't. Whoa.
You wasn't a fan of Dorrance. Come on now. You
I
weren't a
just
super.
said,
Uh-huh. What
I
you say
just
about Dorrance?
said, it is Dorrance,
Right.
hey, man.
I mean, listen,
But Dorrance
Dorrance
proved it,
can
bro. Dorrance proved his worth on Sunday. Dorrance
listen.
Armstrong, I apologize.
Yeah,
There.
okay. I mean, but I think what ended up happening though, with the way Micah is playing and the way the other guys are contributing, we said going into the season that the middle of this defensive line, Osa, Neville, Big Bo, and Tristan Hill were going to help make this a certain kind of way. And they did. They kept the pocket pushing that kept Joe Burrow moving. And you got to say in the last 2 games, this team has given up 36 points this
Yes.
season. And they played against the greatest quarterback of all time that we've ever seen. I'll say it. And Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. and kept them in check. And then, like you said, held one of the most explosive offenses in football with a great wide receiving core and a young gun in Joe Burrow and had him seeing ghosts all night. So this defense played great.
Yes.
You gave much love to Trayvon Diggs. I'm gonna give love to Donovan Wilson stepping in for Jaron Curse. That was our biggest thing. who's going to wear the green dot? And Donovan Wilson came in, played an outstanding game, 6 tackles, tackles for loss. DeMarcus Lawrence is doing his thing. I mean, from start to finish, front to back, even in that 8-minute drive, um, they fought tooth and nail till they couldn't fight anymore.
Yes.
And that defense has been outstanding. So those 3 things, man, between Cooper Rush, Noah Brown, and this defense, those are 3 things that were absolutely outstanding.
Absolutely.
Going to the bad though, man, because it can't be all good, you know.
Yeah.
The
It's not
bad
all
was
sunshine.
not all sunshine and rainbows, you know. The bad for me, man, was Kellen Moore and his play calling after the second touchdown.
Yes.
The first drive of the game, we look slick, we look sharp, we look efficient, running the football, little jet sweep here, little throw here, little 18-yard dig here, 4th and 2. We ain't gonna play with you. We're gonna throw a 17-yard strike to Noah Brown. Looked great. Turned around, got the ball back, drove down the field again, got the 8-9-yard pass to Noah Brown for the touchdown. Looked good. After that, I don't know what they was doing. They went from scoring 17 points in the first half and looking like they were about to blow the Bengals out the building because many prognosticators said we were going to get our ears boxed in, Colin Cowherd, you know, and we were going to get the brakes beat off of us. But then we turned out and scored 17. And in the second half, we kept keeping them in the game, sputtering with the offense, bad play calling, things of that nature. And I put that all on Kellen. And I am now resigned to the fact that I am out on Kellen Moore because what we've done is said, oh, he's a young play caller. He's got to get a feel for it. You know, and I'm over that because before you had this offense that was from the 20 to the 20 was one of the most explosive offenses in football. The first knock we had on Kellen Moore, he was terrible in the red zone. Yes. Right. Then we got on Kellen for, hey, stop throwing screens, right?
Yes.
and then we turned around last week. And then the third thing we always bang on it, we don't have any identity. And we were fine the first 2 drives. And then after that, there was no counterpunch after his first 15. What do you think, buddy?
I think that Kellen Moore did not come out with a group of scripted plays in the beginning of the second half. Generally, a coordinator, a play caller, will, when making adjustments, script a new plays when they march out on the field to begin that second half. And I'm not sure if Kellen Moore did that. They came out and they continued to, you know, look lost on offense. They didn't have that same pop that they did when obviously they had a mission, a design on offense at the beginning of the game. And
right,
that's something that he has to improve on if he wants to get to that next level coaching wise, because they were able to put their guys in position to succeed this game in a lot of situations. But you got to be able to do it while you're adjusting. We expect guys to be able to, look at the instant film, from the first half and make adjustments from there and script new plays. Say, okay, they're playing man here. Let's go ahead and, put this guy in position to succeed. Okay, they're putting in lax protection down here. Let's put this guy in position to succeed. It doesn't look like he scripted new plays. He just ran the guys back out there. And for a large majority of the second half, it showed.
Yeah, I think what ended up happening is that when they turned around and, what you said was really spot on, but I just want to, expound on that a little bit. What he ended up doing that I saw is that when he turned around and saw that, hey, I had certain things that I could win at, he never went back to it. And in certain places he shouldn't have gone, he kept going at it. And that goes back to, it kind of ties into my second bad. His use of Tony Pollard, to me, was bad. Um, I am. We both are a fan of let's use Tony Pollard as
Yes.
much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's got juice. Tony's got that pop. Tony's got that explosion. Tony does not need to be the all-time, or not the all-time, but the full-time running back. The combination of Zeke and Tony is great. But the way they get the ball into Tony's hands is frustrating. It's always got to be a pitch or a rinky, some kind of razzle dazzle move to get him the ball. I think we got him in on the flip, on the little flip underpass that he busted out for the long run down the sideline and almost scored on. Love those kind of plays.
Yeah.
But I also want to be able to just put him in the backfield and daggum just hand it off to him. Or hey, why not put him in? Vox said this on his show. Don't want to take any credit for it, but I just want to echo it again. Hey, put him as the quarterback in the pistol and have Zeke standing right beside him. Who gonna deal with that? Either the defensive end crashes down. If he does, Tony goes out the back door. It's just the ways they get him the ball, but it doesn't have to be pitched to him or lateral to him or things of that nature. I don't think he turned around and used all of his pieces to the best of his ability in the second half. I didn't see Turpin on the field in the slot as a wide receiver in the second half. When they went man-to-man, I never saw them challenge, Chidobe Awuzie or Eli Apple, on a long ball down the field. They did it one time, and he just missed CD. I think that's something that you got to continue to do. And like you said, after he did his first 15, he didn't say, okay, if they're playing zone, we're going to run this. If they're playing man, we're going to run this. And he kept them in the football game. He kept them in the football game. And then we had a miscue by Dalton Schultz that kept them in the game longer than they should have been. If you'd have scored one more touchdown, I think you may have gotten the Bengals to give up. But that's their kind of game. They're going to stick around, scratch, claw, do whatever they have to do. And I think Kellen Moore's play calling in the second half and his use of Tony Pollard was was really bad for us in this game and almost cost us the game.
Now, for 2/3 of the game, I think that they used Tony pretty well. But yes, I agree. They try to get very cute with how they use him. They think that everybody has to be a web back. Remember how they said that they wanted Tavon Austin to be? They wanted Tavon to be a web back.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes you got to keep it simple. Put Tony in the backfield, hand him the ball, let him do his thing.
Right.
And go from there. Scheme your guys to success.
Right. I just think you have enough weapons, even though they're not known commodities. Turpin is a weapon. That's what we've been waiting for all year. Tony's a weapon. Zeke, used properly, is definitely a weapon.
Yes.
CD is proven to be a weapon. Noah Brown proved all of us wrong, and he's a viable weapon. So I just think they just got away from getting everybody involved in the offense so that they could go forward.
Absolutely. So we gonna go into the ugly, and this last one, it doesn't necessarily apply to this game, and it might be a little philosophical to some. The ugly is the front office, Chris. The win is cool. The win is great.
We ain't giving the front office no credit for this.
No.
On no circumstance, we ain't gonna say, "Hey, great job, front office." We ain't doing that.
Not at all.
Go ahead, brother.
Not at all. I think that I'll say the 25 years that I've been able to pay attention to football. I'm 31. Okay. In the 25 years that I've been able to actively understand and pay attention to the game, this is the closest that the fan base has ever gotten to change. You can see the sweat dripping down from the owner and his son's face. When Jerry Jones decides to say that, okay, if fans want to call in and ask questions, I'll answer them. That reeks of desperation in a sense. And so I say, the win is cool, but don't get off of their neck. Because if you think that you want something to change, keep pounding at
it. Yeah, I do that. I think, like you said, there was about to be anarchy inside of the whole fan base.
And one win does not remove any of that.
Yeah. I think the corporate or the whole entire fan base had a big we had a big sigh of relief with that win. If we would have lost on Sunday, or if Cooper Rush would have came out there and looked absolutely, inept, we would have probably been ready to storm the gates, stone Jerry Jones and Steven and the whole nine. It would have been chaos. It would have been bedlam.
Yes.
It would have been terrible.
Yeah.
But it also puts it to the point, the problem is they do just enough good that you kind of see what they're doing, but it shouldn't take our mindset off on saying you should be getting better and better.
Absolutely.
You're looking at a 12-5 football team from last year, and now you're looking at it with the injury to Rain, with the injury to Michael Gallup and James Washington, with the problems that you had on the offensive line. You were like, hey, what's going to happen? And things that they did to make it better, we're like, wow, okay, Matt Forniak wasn't a terrible draft pick. Wow. Tyler Smith, turned around and he's a capable backup as a left tackle, and he's worth the first round pick. But it's still to the point you got to be able to be working on all phases and getting things better. We still got to be on this front office because they ended up cutting their undrafted free agent, Dennis Houston, and most people was like, he shouldn't have made this daggum team anyway.
Should not have. Should not have been on the field.
Shouldn't have been on this football team anyway. So it's we sign, but we looking. We're excited, but we still got our pitchforks. We're happy, but we still got the torches ready. That if this front office doesn't continue to progress and get better, we're ready to turn on them. The hope that springs eternal for us is that we got guys coming back. They're going to get healthy down the road. And so as we look into this next week's game, we got some different things that we can say, hey, we got an upside. So
that's right.
That makes sense for us. And it makes it flow, makes us feel like, hey, we got a shot. But you're right, bro. We're still going to stay in this front office's ass, because if we don't, we don't want it to regress back to the mean of, hey, not doing anything and just, staying pat when we know we got areas we need to get better at.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Any other remarks from the game?
Listen, man, my remarks are this. Michael Parsons is an absolute monster because the lion lives outside.
A force of nature.
He is something that he is a problem. He is a problem. If you've taken any kind of math, statistics, derivatives, whatever, that's Michael Parsons, because he's going to be able to be lined up all over the place, and you got to try to figure out where he is. This offensive line is much better than we expected, and I think the running game is going to be a huge factor in the upcoming weeks and will help us be better, later in the season. And man, ain't nothing better than a Cowboys W, bro.
That's absolutely right, man. That's absolutely right. So I think we're going to leave it on that note. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button. That is our virtual currency. It helps us climb further and further up into the algorithm, so you'll see more of our magnificent faces. And
absolutely
check in with us regularly. Smash that subscribe button. So we can check in with you more often. If you think that we're right, if you think that we're wrong, leave a comment below. We love to interact with you. So until next time, I am Brandon. That's my main man, Chris. And collectively, we make up Franklin football. Peace.